Today I'm going to show you how to replace a battery on a watch. Right here I have my watch. It's a Movado watch, but this pretty much applies to many watches on how to replace the battery. So what you're going to do is you're going to have to access the back of the watch. There's a back plate on here on the watch, and this has to come off. So in order to get to the battery, you're going to need certain tools in order to get back there. Right here I have a watch prying tool, which I'm going to be using in order to access the back of the watch. And I have a cloth for cleaning the watch after the process is done to remove fingerprints, dust, and perhaps dirt that is along the line of the seal of the watch. Very important to remove that. So I'm just going to go ahead and take this out. So I have this right here, the cloth, and I have a watch holder. Now this ensures that the watch stays in one place while I pry open the back without perhaps damaging the watch. So with this watch holder tool that I have right here, I'm just actually going to make enough space for the watch to go into the slot. Now this isn't necessarily needed to open up the back of the watch, but it surely plays an important role in holding the watch in place while I remove and replace the battery with a new battery. So I'm just going to take the watch, and you can see this holder actually has a slot for the knob of the watch right here that goes into place right here. And I simply am going to place the watch, getting a little bit closer, down in here to where it fits securely and snugly inside of the slot. So I'm going to place the watch down, face down like this, and then I'm going to take my nut and twist it until the watch is securely in place. Now it's important that you don't twist it and tighten the watch into place too tightly or too tight, because that could potentially damage the watch depending on the watch. Just twist it enough so that it's secure and into place. Alright, so once you have it secure and in place, you have your watch right here. I'm going to take my prying tool, pull this out right here. Now this tool right here allows me to pop open the back of the case. Now when I slide this into place, there's a slot on the watch, which I'll show you shortly, that you slide the prying tool in, and what I do is I twist it like that to pop it open. Now if you're afraid of scratching the watch, you could use something like this, the cloth, or perhaps some tissue may even work, to slide it and pry it open. But if you have a watch with a tight slot, this may not be a viable option. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the watch, and then I'm going to locate the slot. Now if you look at it, the slot should be aligned on this side opposite of the dial. And when you're replacing the back after I take it off, you'll want to make sure that it is opposite of the dial. You see there's a slot right there. It's kind of hard to see, but the slot is definitely there. And the reason why I say do that is because you will have access to the slot if you need to replace the battery in the same way. And when you place it in here, it just makes it easy access to have the slot facing outward this way, as opposed to any other angle where it would be hard to use the slot tool in order to pry open the back. Now with that said, I'm going to go ahead and attempt to get in here and replace the battery. So I have my slot tool And I'm locating the slot, and you can see that the slot is right here on the side. And so the slot tool is very thin. You can see right there how thin it is. It slides in there. Now you'll want to be careful because you don't want to scratch your watch, even if it's on the back side. So I'm going to slide it into the slot slowly and then gently press in, and then I'm going to twist it. Twist the slot tool until the back pries open. So it's in place. The slot's right there. And I'm just going to twist it. It did not work the first time. And the reason why it did not work is because I was not pressing in. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to lay the holder down. That way I have good access to the slot. And I can press in with tension going this way. And while I twist it like that to pry open the back. So I'm going to do it with it sitting down. Now that's one important thing to have is this watch holder, because it holds it secure and it allows you to get the tool really deep into the slot. And once it's in there, press. You see that? And it popped open right there. So once it popped open, you can go ahead and remove the back. Now once you remove the back, you're going to place it down. But before I do it, I like to go ahead and clean the back of the watch with this dry cloth to remove any dust or debris along the seal. And you can see there's a seal right here, which is rubber. And the seal right here helps protect it from dust, but most importantly, from moisture that may seep inside of the watch and potentially damage it. So I'm dusting it off like that. And then remembering where the slot is, it's on this side right here because you want to place it back on in the same fashion. So once I have this right here, you could use something else like a small battery moving tool, or some cases you may be able to use this back removing slot tool to just simply pop out the battery. Now this battery for this particular watch, this is a Movado, and for many watches, you want to read what is the model number. Now this one right here is a 395, all right? And this is actually Swiss made right here. So 395 right there is the watch size. Now you want to know that because you want to replace it with the same battery, or else your watch won't function and perhaps the battery will not fit. So once you've taken this out, if you have a duster or a blower right here, you may want to blow any potential dust, or if you have neither, perhaps just blow on to remove any dust that may be in there. All right, so once you've done that, you'll discard of the old battery, and then you'll find or get a new battery. Get it closer so you can see this. And then what you'll do is you'll take the battery and you'll slowly but surely place it into place. You see it slipped out of my hand. And the reason why I did, because it's a small battery. So you find this area, you'll place it down right here, and you'll press down on the battery like that. Then take the cloth and just wipe any dust or any oils that may have gotten on there. And once you've done that, you'll go ahead and take the back of the watch, the plate, and what you'll do is you'll go ahead and find the slot on it again. Twist it around. You see the dust on there. I'm going to take my cloth and simply just wipe up any potential dust that may have collected on here, inside as well. And then I'm going to locate the slot. Now it's important. You can see the slot. It's very faint, but it is indeed there. That's the slot right there. And you'll find, remember what I said, is have it opposite of where the dial is. Now the dial is right there. I'm going to go ahead and take this, and I'm going to go ahead and place this opposite of this. I'll make sure that it's completely opposite. It may shift, and if it's at an angle and not completely on the opposite end of it, you may run into issues next time you try to replace the battery. So I have this. I'm going to go ahead and slide it back into place, making sure the slot is completely on the opposite side. And what I'm going to do now is I'm going to go ahead and just press down on the back of the watch, and it should pop into place. Here, it pop back in place. And one way that I make sure it pop back into place is to use a hammer from my kit. And I use the mallet side as opposed to the metal side because I do not want to scratch the watch. And if you're even more worried about it, you may take your cloth and hammer the back in right there. That way you avoid damaging the watch by putting any scratches on. And the key is to be gentle. And once I've placed the battery back in, replaced it, I'm just going to go ahead and loosen up the watch holder like this until it comes out. And the watch is now set. The battery is in there and the watch is functioning again. And that is how you replace a battery on a watch. I hope this video was helpful. Thanks a lot for watching. Thank you.